Hey girls, so tonight I have my very first Meet the Sisters event for a sorority I'm hoping to rush for in the spring. As a freshman, I can actually rush till second semester, so that's why it's like then and not now. But the Meet the Sisters tonight is semi-formal, fall-themed, and yeah, I'm trying to keep the makeup very much me, so very casual, down-to-earth, and not too crazy, because this is what I wear every day, barely anything at all on my face, so I don't want to show up in like fake lashes, because that's not me, and that's not what I want to present as myself to the girls that I'm meeting for the first time. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to go wash my face, come back, and show you how to do a very simple but super classy look for a semi-formal event like this. So after I finished washing my face, I put on my moisturizer. This was the Skin Drink by Lush Cosmetics. Next I'm just taking my concealer. This is the Almay Wake Me Up or Wake Up Concealer, and this is shade number 2. Just putting that, squeezing it out, has a little brush on it, but I put it onto my finger here, just a little bit. Put it between my fingers like this, and then I just dab that on underneath my eyes. Kind of put a little extra up here, and then just start to dab that in. And you can kind of rub it at first because it's a pretty thick layer. Then you're going to want to just dab it in after that point. It's meant for under eyes, but I also put a little bit extra around my nose. And this. And if you want to wear foundation, like liquid foundation, put that on first before you put on the concealer. Just because I find it's easier to put the concealer on top for blending purposes. Next I'm taking is my powder foundation. This is my Everyday Minerals in the shade Medium Beige Neutral. Just taking that on a little flat top brush just like this, and there's already some in the lid, so I'm just swirling that around. Tapping off the excess, starting on my forehead, just because that's where I tend to want the most coverage, is like right there in the center. Work it down, across my nose, my cheeks. You can kind of forget about the eye area right now. We will go back and get that in a second. So just brush that over. You can put a second coat if you want a little bit more coverage. But this is a really great foundation because I feel like it covers so much more than any other powder I've ever used. Then my trick to make sure this stays all night, or even all day if you're putting this on in the morning, is my e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I put that on a little sponge like this. Just like 2 sprays on the end and then a couple of sprays on my face. And then I dab this under my eyes a little tiny bit. And this kind of just helps the makeup stop looking like makeup, and it kind of sets it into your skin and gives it really nice texture on top. I'm just blending that. This will also help the second layer of foundation we're putting on in a second really stick all night. And I see a difference with this. Like most of the, I guess like setting sprays, whatever, I don't see a difference or feel a difference at all when I like have them on my face. This one I feel like a huge difference on. Next, taking just a little smaller brush like this, like an oval brush, kind of getting more of that powder. And this time getting underneath your eyes, just sort of buffing it in. Then going back to the flat top brush. Just a thinner layer on top of that, and this is really going to stick to that makeup setting spray. Next I'm taking my bronzer, which is the shade Sun Glow 25 from Rimmel. Taking that on a brush just like this, slightly angled. Dusting that, tapping off the excess, starting at my temple. This will look a little bit dark when we start out, but we're going to blend this all in. So I kind of tap it on the temple, swipe it down my little, like the sides of my cheek, kind of right here in the hollow. And then we're going to start blending. So dip your brush one more time, tap off the excess, start here on the corners, that's the corners up here, and now we're going to start blending. So kind of do the upper part of your face here first. It's kind of right near your hairline. Then back into that temple, blend that out. Blend it a little tiny bit right there underneath your brow, the tiniest bit. Same thing on this side. And then swipe it down where you put that other line in. Then I take a little tiny bit and put it right underneath my chin as well. And just because I want my ears to be a little bit more the color of like the outside of my face, I'm going to put just a tiny bit kind of right there. And then take the same brush again and kind of scrunch it in your fingers like this, like that. And put this into like your nose area right here. And again, it might look dark in the beginning, but we're going to blend it out. So kind of blend that up to your brow in there. And then just blend that. It's really hard to see on camera, but that contour does so much in person for the shape of your face and just making your makeup look so much more polished and like professional. Next, I'm just taking my blush. This is Pink Cheek Glow from NYC. I honestly am not picky with blushes. I just grab one that's like not that expensive from the drugstore. But just take that on a little brush like this and pop that onto your cheek. So kind of smile and just lightly pop that on there. So that is the full face makeup. Moving on to the eyebrows, I'm just taking one of these little like mascara wands. I got this from like one of the department stores that had them like sitting out for trying mascaras on. Just like grab one of those and use them for your eyebrows. So just brush your brows up to kind of get the powder out of them and then brush them back into place. And if you're like me and have little places that your brows are kind of like not there but they should be, we'll fill those in right now. I'm just going to take my pencil and lightly fill in any little sparse areas that you don't have eyebrow hair. For me, oh no, for me it's just this one eyebrow. It's just like a one eyebrow thing, not both of them. So as I said, the eyes are going to be very, very simple. So I'm just taking a light shimmery champagne color. This is Kitten by Stila on a little teeny tiny little brush. Taking that and putting that into my inner corners. I'm also going to extend that a little bit further into my lid. Next, there is this super light gray that is right here. It is called Fawn, but any like light gray taupey color will work on a fluffy brush like this. And I'm just going to be sweeping that into the crease. And this is very, very light. Like it's barely noticeable at all. But it just adds a little tiny bit of dimension into your crease right there. Next, I'm taking a waterproof liner. This is my 24/7 liner from Urban Decay in the shade Underground. I'm just going to be taking that and putting that onto my lash line. So don't put it into like the waterline up here because it'll fall right down. Right on the lashes where you want this. And concentrate this more on the outside of your eye than on the inner parts here, but kind of just dab, kind of. Next, I'm taking the same small brush in the beginning and my matte brown palette from L'Oreal Paris. And I'm taking the darkest brown in this palette here. I'll be taking that and just concentrating it on the outer corner here. So kind of using this instead of liner. Just kind of smudging it in from the outside corner in. Just like that. And just keep adding color with this until you get the like dramaticness that you want for this. Is that a word? Dramaticness? The amount of drama you want for this look. So just keep spreading that in until you get the desired darkness from this. And then super duper lightly, we're just adding this same dark brown on the same brush into the crease here, like very, very lightly. And you'll see when I stop doing this how much of a difference that makes. Oh, it's a little bit messy. Let's smear that in a little bit more. Smudge it in a little bit. But you see what a difference it makes in, like, this eye looks a little bit bigger in the inner part than that one does, but you can kind of smudge it so it doesn't look like that, but just like that. Okay, so a little bit of blending to make sure this doesn't look like it's drawn on too much. You want this to look as natural as possible when your eyes are open, so you shouldn't see too much of a shadow. And then take the same brush with the same color you had on there, and just smudge in the liner on the bottom a little bit, just to smoke it out. Next, I'm just taking my mascara to finish the entire thing off. And if you want this look to be even more dramatic, you can take black liner instead of brown, or like a darker brown liner, or even just add a little bit of black liner to this corner out here, and that'll really make this look 10 times more dramatic for you. But I'm going to double coat my top lashes, so I'm coating these ones first. Make sure to get little guys in the corner, then get the bottom. And then same thing on the other eye, and we'll repeat on the top lashes. This mascara is awesome. It really does build up into what looks like totally fake lashes. Like, this is a little bit ridiculous. At least I think so. But yeah, make sure you get the little lashes that are hiding in the corner, like the ones kind of like in here. If you get those, your eyes pop like 10 times more. Oh, I got it on my face. We'll get that in a second. So if you mess up with mascara, like I clearly just did on the side of my face over here, the best way to get it off is one of the little sponges I used earlier. So just kind of take this and use it like an eraser. And it just takes it right off. think it's gone. So those are awesome for that as well. And then for lips, I'm just taking a lipstick that pretty much matches my natural color of my lips. I'm just putting that on. Also, I don't like lip liner. Like, I just find it annoying, so I just usually don't. This is just, it basically matches my lips exactly. So I'm putting that on and just blending up my finger around the edges. Then I'm just taking what is a dual cheek and lip stain from Stila. You probably have seen this before. It's like my favorite thing ever. But I take this on one of my fingers and dab it in the middle. Put my lips together and kind of like blend it out from that middle point. And then to finish everything off, I just take a little bit of my clear lip balm. This is the Rosebud Salve from Smith's, and I just take that and dab that on top of everything. So this is the finished look. As always, thank you for watching, subscribing, talking to me down below. I do love comments and emails, and yeah, all those things are awesome. I do look at everything. So yeah, thank you for watching again, and I'll talk to you later. I can't speak.